Welcome everyone back to the Hot and Cold podcast, sports and more. I'm joined today by my beautiful co-host, the beautifully bearded David Miller, and the long-haired Andrew. Andrew, where did my dad go? Like, actually, where is he?
Is this a guess?
Yeah.
Or I'm guessing he's downstairs in a comfortable chair, watching some sort of sport that is on.
See, he told me he was going to get milk, but
Oh, no!
Oh, goodness. Okay. As he said, welcome everyone back to the Hot and Cold podcast, Sports and More. I'm your actual host, David Miller, joined as always by the beautiful Andrew Watkins. And of course, our special guest, we've been teasing him for weeks, the one and only Daniel Reed. Daniel, how are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, I'm fantastic, man. I'm so glad to be here. I've been waiting for this moment for my entire life.
I'm having a proud father moment right now. These are my sons. Andrew and Daniel are my sons. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about the NFL draft. That happened. I tried to live stream it a little bit on here, but my Wi-Fi wouldn't let it happen, unfortunately. But we got a little bit of it in. Then we're going to talk about the NBA, because apparently Daniel thinks he knows ball. So,
you know it.
We're going to take advantage of that.
I'll myself.
So let's go ahead and jump into things, starting off with the draft. Andrew, as a Giants fan, how do you feel about what the Giants did?
It went a lot better than I expected, and it went a lot better than the mock draft that we did. Would have let it happen. Evan Neal is essential. Kayvon Thibodeau was like a weird. I thought it was weird, but like he dropped, so like take him. Like I didn't expect him to drop to 5.
Right.
So I'm happy we have him. Very happy we have him, but I didn't expect it to happen.
Mm-hmm. I love.
And then,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
Well, I was just gonna say I absolutely love Kayvon Thibodeau to the Giants. He fits so perfectly with your new defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale. He runs a very blitz-heavy system, and he likes to make a lot of guys do a lot of different weird things. And Kayvon Thibodeau, he has the athleticism and ability to do that. And he reminds me a lot of Odafe Owe from the Ravens, who Wink Martindale coached last year. So it's kind of like he's getting the same type of player in back-to-back years, although I think Thibodeau's better. And then obviously, like you said, Evan Neal is huge for them. I think they said he's going to play right tackle for you guys. So him at right tackle, and then Andrew Thomas is your left tackle, and adding Mark Lewinsky. And
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Andrew's middle name is Thomas. So he is the left tackle of the New York Giants, and he is the one and only line of defense for Daniel Jones, who you guys didn't pick up the 5th-year option on, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's a prove-it year for him. I'm kind of looking at the rest of the Giants draft class here. You got Joshua Aduzu, who played at UNC. Oh my God, look at my phone on my face.
Well,
telling the scary story, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling the scary story of how bad the Giants are going to be next year. But anyways, I like him a lot as well. He's not going to be a day one starter for you guys, but he's a nice little project. Wandale Robinson in the 2nd round I thought was a bit of a reach, but he is Kadarius Toney's replacement. Unfortunately, I do think the Kadarius Toney situation is going to end up with him getting traded, because Wandale Robinson is literally the same player, and you're not going to have 2 of the same player on that offense. Yeah. What else do we got here? You got you got the homie Cordell Flott. I didn't watch tape on him or anything, but his name's fucking Flott, so he can't be bad.
Yeah.
And then in the 6th round, you got Darian Beavers out of Cincinnati, who I absolutely love. He's a linebacker, and he's just an old school smash mouth traditional linebacker. And me being me, that's like super appealing. So he was a guy that I really liked, and him going to the Giants is great for them. So I think the Giants overall did fairly well, especially given their history with being a team that is terrible at drafting, taking Daniel Jones in the top 10 and whatnot, taking Kadarius Toney in the 1st round, that kind of thing. So This year, I mean, Joe Shane really made up for the mishaps of the Giants over the past 2 years. I don't think this is a contending team or anything, obviously, but they made the necessary moves. And the next year, you're probably going to be in a position to get a quarterback. Giants are in a good place right now.
Yeah, it went a lot better than I expected it to go because I said even though we had like 2 top 10 picks, we were in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
Because I love like what all we needed, and like all the injuries that were going on for the team, and like the questionable future of Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely a very solid draft, one of the best drafts of any team, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and the jury isn't necessarily out on Daniel Jones yet. I mean, I know you want it to be, but with oh my god, I'm completely blanking. What's the coach's name? Dable. Brian Dable. With Brian Dable. David. Hold on one second.
You don't have to open the door.
With Brian Dable.
Apologies. I was needed for a quick moment. As I was saying, with Brian Dable. Listen, this is normal. Daniel, I know you probably think we're crazy. This is normal. This is how it normally goes.
No.
Anyways,
Listen.
With Brian Dable, he's a miracle worker with quarterbacks. I've talked about this before. I kind of said the same thing with Trubisky coming over to the Giants a while back. And honestly, I think you're in a better position holding on to Daniel Jones than trying to risk it with Trubisky. He's a quarterback whisperer. So if anyone's going to get anything out of Daniel Jones, it's him. And who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones has a big year this year. I would hope not, because I don't think he's a long-term option for them. But who knows? Who knows? But moving on, Daniel is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So how do you feel about their draft?
Oh, I'm happy, man. I think we took positions we needed, and I think we really drafted smart.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that Kenny Pickett pick, I was actually jumping on the furniture in my living room, screaming of excitement.
Really? Over Kenny Pickett?
Kenny Pickett, because he is ready to start. I was so not excited for Mitchburg, bro.
I'm offended.
And now we got
I am offended.
Kennyburg.
Kennybird? I think you mean Pickettburg.
Nah, it's Kennyburg. I take my own roads, man.
Yeah, he's a trendsetter. Kennyburg. All right, valid. So what about the rest of the draft? They did more than just take Pickett.
Yeah, that's where I was getting to.
Okay, my apologies.
I was thinking either offensive line or get a receiver, because I know we lost James Washington and Juju this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we picked up George Pickens, who was like the best receiver who was left on the board. And I watched a little bit of him after the draft, and I really like what I'm seeing. He just looks like another Claypool. So I really like that, like, without the attitude, which is nice.
What do you mean without the attitude?
That's what I said, without the attitude, yeah.
Like Pickens doesn't have the attitude, or Claypool doesn't?
Claypool doesn't.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that is all George Pickens is. You had me confused for a second. Okay, my bad. That's on me. That's the only thing with George Pickens. I like George Pickens a lot. I had him as my 4th receiver in the entire draft, and it was a really good receiver class, so that's saying a lot about him. And talent-wise, he probably has the highest ceiling out of any receiver in this class, but there's a lot of red flags with him. And he fell a lot further than I thought he would. I thought the Bears would take him at 39 if he was there. And obviously we'll talk about the Bears in a minute. Or if he wasn't there at 39, I thought he'd go in the first round. I thought he was liable to go at 22 to the Packers, 28 to the Packers. Early in the second round, somebody might trade up for him. But he fell all the way to 52. And I feel like that's extremely telling of everything going on. Because on top of the off-the-field issues, he's also recovering from an injury. I think he completely tore his ACL or something along those lines, which isn't great. But if he can get those red flags figured out, and the rumors that Pittsburgh picked him to move on from Deontay Johnson or Claypool aren't true, then Pickett has everything in the world except for an offensive line to help him out, which Pickett's the kind of guy that can not thrive, but do all right without an offensive line, just because I feel like he's really good at getting out of the pocket and kind of maneuvering. But I don't know. I do think those first 2 picks for Pittsburgh were solid. I don't love Pickett, but I mean, he's the most NFL-ready quarterback in this class, so to speak.
Right.
And then what did they do after that? They went to Marvin Lille, He's pretty solid from Texas A&M. That's your Cam Hayward replacement or successor, I suppose.
Yeah. That's a good pick, I think, because some of these Steeler fans are questioning Stephon Tuitt's if he's going to play with us in the future.
Him as well.
So I think it's good that we're trying to draft someone that we could replace if we have to.
Right. That's one of the worrisome things with Pittsburgh is they're an older football team, and that older generation's kind of phasing out. Big Ben just left. Tuitt and Hayward are on their way out, that kind of thing. And you have guys like TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Harris, Claypool, Johnson, and now Pickett, I suppose, that are kind of the core of your team here. I liked Lille. I thought Lille was a solid defensive tackle. I think I had him as like my DT4, and to get him in the third round is nice value. He was a guy that going into the college football season, people thought would be a fifth round pick. My God, top 5 pick. There's a graphic going around where some guy did a mock draft. I'm actually going to pull this up real quick, not to get off topic, but it was the top 5 picks going into the season. And it went Texans, Lions, Jets, Bengals, Jaguars. Number 1 overall pick was Spencer Rattler, who got benched halfway through the season last year and then transferred. Number 2 was Sam Howell, who was a 5th round pick. Number 3 was Derek Stingley, who ironically went 3rd overall. And then it was Kayvon Thibodeau at 4 and Marvin Lille at 5. So clearly there's something there with him. And then they went Calvin Austin the 3rd at 138. I like him, but I don't like his size.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Yeah. He's small.
Yeah, I kind of took over here. I'm going to let you kind of take the reins. I have a tendency to do that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's fine. He's quick, which I'm really glad that we're stocking up on these guys who have good potential because, like, we even lost, like, I know it's a little piece, but, like, Ray McLeod, our returner, we lost him, too. No, we didn't lose him. Sorry. No, but he's moving up into a primary receiver spot now because we're losing so many.
I could have sworn it's good we're
getting more. Yeah.
Keep going.
I think it's really important that we're getting these players like this. And then we also went on to get Connor Hayward.
Yeah, Cam Hayward's like little brother. He's a
like
tight end.
Tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
You put him wherever you want to put him. He's cool. I saw this. We have 4 sets of brothers on the Steelers.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Which is pretty cool. I think that's the most in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 7s. I think we traded for one of them. We got another linebacker. Sorry, it was their first linebacker, which I think was good because we just lost a few of our linebackers in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's so random. I tuned in at the end of the draft to watch this last 7th round pick, and I'm like, all right, time to get some offensive line and get out of here. And I hear Chris Aladakun, and I'm like, who is this guy?
Is that how you say that? Aladakun?
Yeah, that's his name.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know how to pronounce it. I'm looking at the name here. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean,
but when I heard quarterback, I got so upset. We have enough quarterbacks right now. We don't need another one.
Well, the thing is with the 7th round pick, you're not necessarily banking on them making the final 53. So Pittsburgh is a team that doesn't have a proven quarterback room, and they're just trying to bring in as many bodies as possible. Because for all we know, he can make the 53 over Mason Rudolph. He might be better. Or, maybe he's just a practice squad guy. Maybe he's a guy that's going to be there in camp to kind of play against the defense. Who knows? Like, those 7th round picks, you're just kind of taking flyers on guys that you like with high upside, regardless of position, and kind of seeing what you can do there. Chicago kind of did the same thing. They took like 4 offensive linemen in the 6th and 7th round. But the linebacker you guys took, Mark Robinson, I think is a really interesting prospect because he's a converted running back. So he's got the speed to a certain extent, and he hasn't been playing linebacker for too long, but he has all of the physical traits you want. So he's a bit of a developmental pick, but with how good Pittsburgh is with their defense, especially with adding Brian Flores, he's in a position where he can really thrive and kind of step things up. But as much as I hate to say it, Pittsburgh did have a pretty solid draft. Again, I don't love Kenny Pickett, but other than that, I think they did pretty well. And, I'm saying I don't like Kenny Pickett. It's just because it was a weak QB class. He'll probably be the starter for you guys week 1. I think he has every possibility in the world to beat out Trubisky in camp because Trubisky's bad. He's bad. I love the guy, but he is bad.
He's not good.
Yeah, and I think at the very least, Kenny Pickett's like, I think my comp for him was Andy Dalton if he could run. But like prime Andy Dalton. I don't know if you're old enough to remember this when Andy Dalton was like back with Cincy fun fact, just to put it out there, Daniel's 15. So I feel like an old head talking to him for back in the day in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Daniel, do you remember the last time Pittsburgh was in the Super Bowl? Do you remember that year?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
How old would you have been?
Either two.
I was 3.
Yeah.
And I remember jumping on my chair screaming when Hines Ward caught like a 50-yard touchdown. I forget who threw it. I think it might have been it. Oh, who was it? Someone threw, some non-quarterback threw like a 50-yard pass to Hines Ward, and I was screaming.
Wait. The Cardinals Super Bowl or the Packers Super Bowl?
Gosh, I just don't. It's so old, so long ago. I don't remember which one it was.
Okay. What year were you born? What year were you born?
06.
06. So it would have been the 2009 Super Bowl against the Cardinals. They've been in the Super Bowl since then. They went against Green Bay in like 2012.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a casual. Listen, wait until we get to that.
Yeah.
I'm here for the basket.
Yeah. The only reason I remember it is because Green Bay beat Chicago to go to the Super Bowl, and that was like my first football heartbreak. Yeah, I cried. It was a whole
First
thing.
of many, right?
Yeah, first of many. Let's go.
Andrew, I know you. Okay, you're hyping me up. I thought you were about to talk shit. You're a fucking Giants fan. You're the only. Yeah, you're worse off than I am somehow. All right. Let's talk about the Bears since you guys got me on it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get the whole thing ripped up because I'm about to go off. Because Chicago had a good draft. They did well. They did incredibly well. And the big critique against them, obviously, is the fact that they waited to go offensive line and they waited to go wide receiver. But listen, this draft class was really weird because it wasn't top heavy. There were like maybe 10, 15 guys who should have had a first round grade on them. It wasn't very top heavy, but it was super deep. And once you hit like the late second, early third round, the guys there are just as good as the guys that are going to be taken in like the early fifth round. And that's not like a knock on them. It's just that's how deep it is. There's so many guys that just stand out for different reasons that were very similar in the middle of the class. And by the time Chicago picked at 39, there were no offensive linemen worth taking. And the only 2 receivers that would have been worth taking were George Pickens, who I keep saying had more red flags than a theme park, and Sky Moore, who simply does not mesh in Chicago's offense. So you go with Kyler Gordon, who is the best defensive player on the board, at a very, very weak position. Chicago's corners last year sucked. We saw it starting in week 1 against the Rams, where Cooper Kupp had his way with the Bears defense. It was embarrassing. And our second corner was Kindle Vildor, who was a 6th round pick out of, I don't even know where. And he sucks. He's awful. He shouldn't even be on the practice squad. And that was your second corner. So now you get Kyler Gordon, who a lot of people had a 2nd round grade on. I think I had a late 1st round grade on. And a lot of people were speculating that he was going to even slip into the 1st round. It doesn't happen. So you take the best corner available. Dude's super athletic, going to mesh super well with Jalen Johnson, be a great corner too. He had a relative athletic score. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes, kind of.
Okay, so basically they combine like all of their testing, like 40-yard dash, 3-cone, all that kind of stuff. You know, like the stuff you do at the combine. They take all of that and compare it against other players at that position, I think since 1999, and you get like a score, right? And anything above like an 8, I think is elite. Kyler Gordon had a 9.69. So he was elite among corners athletically. And then your next pick, you go with Jaquan Brisker, who I had as the 2nd best safety in the entire class, only behind Kyle Hamilton, who was an absolute demon. Like he might have been the best player in the class, period. And this dude, he falls to you at 48. Your safeties right now are Eddie Jackson and Dane Cruikshank. Dane Cruikshank is at best a special teamer, and Eddie Jackson is the worst run support safety in football. I could sit here for an hour and talk about how bad Eddie Jackson is. So you get Jaquan Brisker, who is a leader on your defense. That was the big thing with him at Penn State. He was the leader on a really good defense. High effort, high motor. He's the kind of guy that's going to run up to you and pop you in the mouth. I posted a clip on Twitter and on TikTok today of him flattening a guard. He was coming off the edge on a blitz, and a guard came to pull, and he literally put his shoulder into him and dropped the guy, and then still made the play. Like, he's strong, he's willing, he's got great instincts, super high football IQ. He's the type of guy that 5 years from now, everyone bitching about the Bears taking defense, they're going to look back and be like, oh, this is an all-pro. This is an all-pro caliber guy. He's amazing. So you get him, and Chicago's secondary goes from the worst position group on the field to potentially the best. Probably the best. I would argue the best. And then you get here to the third. Oh, by the way, Jaquan Brisker's relative athletic score, 9.12. Then you get to the third round here. Bayless Jones Jr., and this is where people really get mad, because this was a guy that was a fifth-round talent. I want to remind everybody that every big board in the NFL is different. Somebody I have a fifth-round grade on, the GM of the San Francisco 49ers might think is a top 5 player in the class. There's a difference. It depends on what you're looking for, what you prioritize, what you see versus what you don't see. And Bayless Jones Jr., people are bitching, this is a fifth-round graded player. And even like I said this year, between the second round and the fifth round, there's not a lot of difference. There's not. So the Bears take Bayless Jones Jr., who is super athletic. Dude ran, I think, a 4.31 40-yard dash. Yeah, 4.31. And on top of that, he was a guy that Ryan Poles, the GM, and Justin Fields sat down and watched film on together. And Fields was like, I like this guy. I want him to be my number one, or not my number one receiver. I want to throw passes to him. So Chicago prioritizes him and goes out and gets him. If your quarterback is handpicking a wide receiver, I'm pretty confident in that. Even if he's not perfect, you can say, hey, this is exactly what our quarterback wanted, and we wanted to keep him happy. And no one's going to knock you for that. And besides, this guy at the very worst is going to be like an elite return man. And then you go through, you get Braxton Jones, who's a really solid offensive lineman, 8.44 relative athletic score, which is great for an offensive lineman. We'll come back to him in a minute. You get Zachary Thomas, who might be the most athletic lineman in the class, 8.97 athletic score. You get Doug Kramer, hometown kid. I absolutely love him. He grew up a Bears fan. There's pictures of him wearing like Brian Urlacher and Devin Hester jerseys and shit. I love it. 8.48 relative athletic score. Jatir Carter, Senior Bowl standout. Dude was going up against some of the best defensive linemen in the country and was holding his own. He has issues. I'm not saying he's perfect, but as a sixth-round pick, that's great value. And then that's it for the offensive lineman. So you go out, you get Justin Fields, a wide receiver, and 4 offensive linemen in this class. Sure, they're late-round guys, but Ryan Poles has a knack for finding these later-round guys and making them work. And on top of that, we scroll back up here. Where's my boy at? There's this really intriguing edge rusher we picked up. His name's Dominique Robinson. He went to the University of Miami, University of Miami at Ohio, which, Daniel, I'm sure you know, is where Ben Roethlisberger went to school. Not a very big school. This guy's a converted wide receiver. Used to play wide receiver. He put on some weight, and now he's coming off the edge. Super fast. Ran like a 4.7, which is incredible for defensive linemen. This is a guy that you're going to kind of rotate in every once in a while this year, develop. He has all of the traits. He has all of the tools. He can be really good. You get this running back, I always forget his name, Treston Ebner out of Baylor. Ran like a 4.4. He's Tariq Cohen, but 5 inches taller. Really good receiving back. Again, helping your quarterback. And then you get this other safety who I am in love with. His name's Elijah Hicks. He is such a Chad. The dude, when he got drafted, like made a video, getting excited over the draft. And like midway through, he stopped to do one-armed push-ups just to like, I guess, calm himself down. I don't know. It was hilarious. And then they drafted a punter. But Chicago made a lot of moves to help Justin Fields this year, and so many people don't realize that. One of the fundamental basics of football is that it's a team sport. So building any part of your team helps all of your team. If you build up your defense, it takes pressure off your quarterback. And when you have a young quarterback, that is huge. So you get 2 defensive pieces that now make your secondary not a laughingstock. You get him 4 offensive linemen. You get him a receiver he handpicked. And you get him a running back that can catch out of the backfield. With no first-round pick, that's a solid draft. And people are looking at the Bears like a laughingstock. It's a solid draft. All right, that's the end of my Bears rant. I don't want to go off too much when we have a guest. That would be for another video. So
hey, you know what? Just act like I'm not here.
Well, I'm not going to do that. That defeats the point of having you here.
True.
You get 1 Bears rant per video.
Yeah, I get one. I get one. Let's see here. What else do we have? Quarterbacks fell. That was really interesting. Pickett.
Malik Willis falling as far as he went was crazy.
He was the third quarterback off the board on top of that.
Yeah.
And I thought all of the quarterbacks ended up in the perfect situations, like respectively, like the perfect situation for them. Because Pickett's going to go in. First of all, Pittsburgh and the Steelers like share a practice facility, or they're like extremely close. So Pickett's going to be comfortable. He's the hometown kid. And then Malik Willis is going to the Titans, and he's going to get to sit behind Ryan Tannehill for a year and not have to worry about playing and get to develop. Because Willis has tremendous upside, but he's like down here right now. He has a lot of problems. There were games last year where he looked straight up undraftable, which I guess is why people like me that thought he would go second overall are idiots. Like, that was just stupid. That's another thing. Real quick. Go ahead.
I think it's really good that the Titans drafted him because, next year they don't want to pay Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
So he is going to sit and step right into that starting position year 2, which I think is perfect for his career.
Yeah, absolutely. And that happened with all the other quarterbacks, too. I think Matt Corral might be the only one other than Pickett that's going to be expected to start day one. And that's just because the Panthers' other quarterbacks are Sam Darnold. And I guess there's the potential they bring back Cam Newton. So, but Ritter's going to get to sit as well, hopefully, at least for a short period of time, because the Falcons are going to suck. So I think all the quarterbacks ended up in pretty ideal spots, and I was surprised by how far they fell. Oh, Sam Howell went to the Commanders as well. I love Sam Howell. He's going to get to sit behind Carson Wentz, who's a solid quarterback, so I don't think he'll be playing much either. I just feel like even though it was a weak quarterback class, there's some guys here with upside that can be half decent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we move to basketball, so I can let you two kind of go off. Were there any other picks or any other teams that you guys liked? Anything you thought was a good fit or a steal or anything like that?
I think the Jets drafted extremely well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They had the best draft.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that, I think.
It was good.
Yeah, they got Sauce Gardner.
Kayvon Walker can be weird for me, though.
We saw it coming, but it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I was pretty shocked.
Walker, he's not bad by any means. I had him as like my fourth edge, and I thought all top 5 edge rushers were first-round picks. But, like, he just shouldn't have been the first overall pick. Aiden Hutchinson was the consensus best edge rusher in this draft. Lions got a steal, even though they picked him at 2. I feel like that's a steal. I think Trayvon Walker will be fine, but they but I feel like Hutchinson would have been the better pick. And then they traded back up for Devin Lloyd, who I don't love, but I see the point. You need another linebacker in there. He can do a couple different things for you. And then they drafted another linebacker in the top 100 picks, and they didn't get Trevor Lawrence any receivers, which I know kind of feels hypocritical coming from a Bears fan, but like Trevor Lawrence's receivers last year were running into each other mid-play. Really? Yeah. Justin Fields at least had a 1,000-yard guy. So Trevor Lawrence was way worse off with weapons, and they didn't get him a single one, which is extremely concerning. Like, I do fully believe in building up your defense and whatnot, but doubling up on linebackers after you just paid Foyesade Luakon in the offseason feels really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the Jets.
Just winging it.
What is it?
Jags are just winging it, honestly. It doesn't seem like they have a plan.
Yeah, they're kind of in a decent spot right now, so they folded.
Yeah.
It's like they were playing Madden, like franchise, and they forgot to scout. I swear.
Yeah, and they were just like, we need linebackers, take all of them. Speaking of linebackers, before we get to the Jets, because I do want to talk about the Jets, Nakobe Dean fell all the way to the 3rd round, and that is insane to me. I know he had injury concerns that came up last minute, and he's kind of undersized, but he's so fucking good. And the Eagles getting him in the 3rd round, getting Jordan Davis in the 1st round, who they had to trade up for, and also trading for A.J. Brown. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. They got a top 10 wide receiver. They got who I thought was probably the 2nd most talented player in this entire class. And they got my number 1 linebacker. And they didn't really have to make a ton of sacrifices for it, right? The Eagles are in a good position next year. If Jalen Hurts takes a step up, that team can be dangerous, especially with how weak the NFC is. That team can make some noise. But back to the Jets, because the Jets did kill it. You start off by taking Sauce Gardner, who I thought was the best player in the class, by far. I had Sauce Gardner as my number one guy easily. And then you get Garrett Wilson at 10, who I would have been okay with them taking at 4, because I thought, once again, he was the best wide receiver in this class. And then they trade back up in the first round to get Jermaine Johnson, who a lot of people thought they were going to be taking in the top 10. I didn't think that, or I thought that would have been a bad pick, but they thought that was a real possibility. And then they trade up again in the second round to get Breece Hall, who I think is the best running back in this class. Mm-hmm. So you get Zach Wilson, a number 1 wide receiver. You get him a lead running back, and then you build your defense as well. The Jets, with how good the AFC is, legitimately might have a shot at the playoffs. And that is insane, because this is the best the AFC has ever been, at least in my lifetime, and it's the fucking Jets.
Yeah.
What the hell? They killed the draft. Both New York teams killed the draft. And then you have the Bills, who took a punter in the 4th round. I would say they're 2 of the top 3. I think the second best draft was the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs absolutely slaughtered it. Like, I'm going to make a YouTube video about it, and I want to make a TikTok about it as well. I have my winners and losers. I have the Chiefs, Jets, Ravens, and Eagles as my top 4 drafts, and I guess the Giants would be 5th. And then I have the Patriots, Vikings, Jaguars, and Cardinals as my 4 worst. Because the Patriots, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they were doing. They took Cole Strange in the first round. It was like a 3rd round talent.
Oh my gosh.
Which, listen, it's Bill Belichick. So I say that's weird now. 4 years from now, he's going to be a 4-time All-Pro. Like, he's going to be the greatest guard to ever live by the time it's all said and done. And he's coming out of fucking Chattanooga. Where the hell is Chattanooga?
What is the Chattanooga, man?
It's not a real school. It's not. It's not a real school. But I can't remember.
Chattanooga's in Tennessee. Tennessee's not even real. What the heck?
Oh, okay. I should have known that. I think I did actually know that. But yeah, the Patriots, I mean, it's Bill Belichick. I tend not to question him too much, but he made some weird picks. And then the Vikings just said, hey, every team in our division, do you want to trade up? And they let the Lions trade up from 32 to 12 to draft the receiver with probably the highest upside in the class. I know I said it was Pickens earlier, but I forgot Jamison Williams existed for a moment. He has the highest upside in the class. Like, that's a franchise receiver. And then they get into the second round, and they're like, hey, Packers, do you want to trade up for a weapon for Aaron Rodgers? So the Packers trade up for Christian Watson. And the Vikings, they made solid picks. They got Lewis Seen. They got Andrew Booth. Those are fine pickups, but it almost gets canceled out when you're letting 2 teams in your division who don't have a true number 1 receiver trade up for a guy that's going to be a true number 1 receiver for them. Like, that's terrifying to me. Like, this is my, out of the box take for the day. Trading within your division in the NFL is the football equivalent of incest. If you're trading within your division, it should be morally wrong. Like, that is disgusting to me. I don't understand why teams do it. Like, I know that's kind of a gross and taboo explanation, but am I wrong?
It's an interesting take.
No, I'm not gonna agree with that, but it's you definitely just said a take. I think.
Yeah. Well, listen. At the very least, I'm not advocating for it. It's not like I said trading in your division's like incest, and I think that's a good thing. No, I said it's terrible. I said it's disgusting. It's not like I'm advocating for it.
Morally wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It is morally incorrect to trade within your division, especially when it's big time draft picks. Like, the Lions completely fleeced the Vikings to move up from 32. It was insane. But yeah, I think that's all I had written down. So, basketball, things are happening.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Before you start talking about the AFC, when I look at the teams in the AFC, because yes, I had to search them up, I only see one. There is 1 to 2 teams that I think might not make the playoffs. Like, every other team looks like I could see them making the playoffs.
Yeah, but only 8 of them can make it? Is it 8 or 9?
Right.
I think it's 9 now. They added one. It's 9.
Yeah.
So 9 of the 16.
But it's just such a it's a toss-up.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think are the two teams that are completely out?
I don't know about completely. I know have 1.5.
Okay.
So the Texans are done for.
Okay.
Texans aren't making it. And then the other one's like maybe the Jets. The Jets have a chance. But
you think the Jaguars have a better chance than the Jets?
Jaguars are AFC or NFC?
No, they're AFC.
You're sure?
They're in the same division as the Texans. Yeah, they're in the AFC South.
Okay, well then Google has lied to me. Okay, yeah, I don't think they're making it.
He said that with his chest too. He said Jaguars are NFC.
Dude, I'm laughing, but I probably couldn't name every single one.
Listen. I respect the fact that he said it with his chest. There's nothing wrong with that. Divisions can get confusing when you don't study it like a religion like I do.
Yeah.
It's 32 teams. You got to remember where they're aligned.
I agree with you, actually, though, because I see, like, literally the Texans and the Jags is the only two teams that don't have a chance.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it.
I was just laughing at Daniel. I got to pull it up, too, just so I can visualize it real quick.
And now there's so many stacked divisions. There's that, the Chiefs, hold up.
Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders,
Chiefs,
Broncos.
Chargers, Raiders. That's a tough division.
The AFC West is insanely tough.
And then you got AFC North, which is Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns.
Yeah. I think the Browns are going to be another team that are completely out of it. Because I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to play the full season.
If he doesn't, it won't be. But he might. If he does,
I'm being optimistic. I don't think he'll play the full season. So I don't think they'll make the playoffs either. I don't think they have a chance. But yeah, you look, AFC East, Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. Bills are the Bills. Patriots made it last year. Dolphins just got Tyreek Hill to help out Tua. And the Jets just had probably the best draft out of anybody. Go to the AFC North. Bengals went to the Super Bowl. I don't think the Steelers have a chance at the playoffs. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're one of the teams that are out as well. I think their team is solid. I just don't think Kenny Pickett's taking them to the playoffs year one. And Mitch Trubisky sure as hell isn't taking them to the playoffs. Cleveland, like I said, if Watson doesn't play, it's iffy. Baltimore has a shot. Titans have a shot. Colts have a shot. Texans and Jags are completely out. And then the entire AFC West has a chance at the playoffs. It's insane. The AFC is insanely stacked. This offseason literally just said, we're going to take half of the star power in the NFL and move it over here. Move it to one conference.
Is it 3 wild cards or 2 wild cards now?
It's
3.
Yeah, it's 3.
Because it seriously wouldn't surprise me if all those wild cards come from that division.
Yeah, I said it was 9 teams. It's 7. It's 7 playoff teams now. The playoff format is all screwed up now. They added teams. It's all screwed up. But yeah, legitimately speaking, the entire AFC West could make the playoffs, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is they're going to go up against a team like the Titans or the Colts and probably slaughter them. Yeah. Yeah, the AFC is crazy. And then you go to the NFC, and it's like there's maybe 4 teams that should make the playoffs, and the rest are just dog shit. This is going to be my hot take for the video. I already said I have my hot take. We're going to call that my weird take. My hot take for the video. The Detroit Lions are going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. The NFC is weak. And Jared Goff has been there before. He's going to be in year 2 of this new system. The Lions got marginally better this offseason with the receivers they added around him and the defensive pieces they got. Dan Campbell was a fantastic coach last year, and he improved steadily as the year went on. Like, by the end of the year, the Lions legitimately looked like a football team again. And when you look at the NFC and how weak it is, it would not shock me if the Lions snuck in as like the 6th or 7th seed. And especially
in that division.
Yeah, especially when you look at the NFC North. The Packers lost a lot. The Packers are not this unbeatable team anymore. They haven't been for 2 years now. They looked bad last year. They just kind of fumbled their way into the NFC championship or the NFC divisional round because they were in a bad division. The Vikings are the Vikings. They are the definition of mediocre and will continue to be mediocre for the rest of time. And the Bears do not look too hot right now. So the Lions, legitimately speaking, do have a shot at winning the NFC North. and at the very least making the playoffs. I've been saying since last year I like how the Lions have been building their roster, and they did great this offseason. So,
listen,
wouldn't shock me.
Come back to this at the end of the year. This is my hot take. Call crazy. Bears win the division. I think Bears win that division.
As an extremely optimistic Bears fan, Daniel, I think you are off your rocker. Yeah, you kind of got
me liking the Bears.
I think you are off your rocker.
I see it happening, man.
I just don't.
I don't think the Lions go anywhere with Jared Goff. You can't win a football game kicking 40-yard field goals the entire game.
Well, crazier stuff's happened, but Jared Goff, I mean, he made a Super Bowl appearance, and I know that was kind of with Sean McVay, and it was the product of that. Yeah. But like I said, they were making their offense work last year. They figured it out. Chicago, I mean, they have made upgrades, and not a lot of people have talked about how well Chicago's done this offseason, because you go in, you have no assets whatsoever. Ryan Pace left this team in literal shambles. So the biggest upgrade they made was firing Matt Nagy. Firing Matt Nagy was the biggest thing they could have done for the team. And you replace him with Matt Eberflus, who is literally the opposite. He is the anti-Matt Nagy, which is perfect. And the big thing Chicago needs this year, and I think this is kind of why they're going to be off by a year, is they need a complete culture change. Because under Matt Nagy, the team was lazy and it wasn't disciplined. Matt Eberflus is not putting up with any of that shit. He has a full principle and system of rules for his discipline and his effort. And you have guys like Eddie Jackson who just don't know what that is pretty much. So it's going to take a year for them to kind of get adjusted to it. And on top of that, as much as I love the draft the Bears had, the offensive linemen they took are not day one starters. They need work. They need development. You might have one guy, I think Jatir Carter could potentially step in week one, but he's not going to be great. They did upgrade at center. The offensive line is better than it was last year for Chicago, because an offensive line is not each individual player being graded. It's the sum of its parts. And getting rid of guys like Jermaine Ifedi, Sam Mustipher, who's the other one? Basically, those two are the big ones. Jermaine Ifedi and Sam Mustipher. Getting rid of them and being able to start guys like Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borum this year make that offensive line better. Their receiver room is better because Justin Fields has more than just Darnell Mooney this year. Allen Robinson was there. He was a non-factor. You add in Byron Pringle, who isn't fantastic, but he's a solid slot option. You add in Bayless Jones, who is a playmaker. You can do a lot with him. He's maybe not a guy that you're expecting to run routes and kind of break somebody's ankles or whatever, but you can play him out of the backfield. You can run him on screens, things like that. He's going to make plays because he's quick and he's shifty. You have David Montgomery, who's a top 10 running back, in my opinion. You have Khalil Herbert, who had a really good rookie year. You add guys like Master Teague, who shouldn't have went undrafted, but did because he's a running back. You add Darrington Evans, who's pretty solid out of the backfield. You add Treston Ebner, who is a good receiving threat out of the backfield and will fit well with Getsy's scheme. You completely overhaul your offensive scheme to go from a middle school offense last year to a legitimate NFL offense this year. The Bears, I don't think, are going to be great. I don't think they're making a run. I don't think any of that's going to happen. But they're going to at least look better than they did last year. I'm not going to look at a Bears game and be like, wow, I am embarrassed. I'm going to look at a Bears game and be like, okay, there needs to be improvement. There are problems, but there's something there. And it all hinges on the shoulders of Justin Fields. If he can take that next step, which I am fully confident he can, the team will look at least not pathetic next year. This isn't like we're going to be the Jags. This isn't like we're going to be the Lions or the Jets of years past. This is a team that's going to finish with 6-7 wins probably at best. And like I said, just be like, okay, there's decent upside there. Which, who knows, maybe with how bad the NFC is going to be, 6 or 7 wins sneaks you into the playoffs. I doubt it, but I don't know. I would love to see the Bears go into the playoffs, but I just don't think it's going to happen. 2023, though, where you have $120 million in cap room and a first-round pick, and team, players will look at this team and be like, okay, I want to be a part of this. Then yeah, 2023, I think, is 2023, 2024, and 2025, I think, are your championship windows for Chicago before you have to pay Justin Fields. But 2022, unfortunately, no.
Hey, David, one more question before we go on.
Okay.
Start talking about middle school teams. Do you think the best college team would beat the worst NFL team?
No. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Absolutely not. The NFL and the NCAA are practically two different sports. There is a huge drop-off because at the end of the day, the worst NFL team will go with the Texans. We'll just say the Texans. Then the best college team, who just won the national championship, was it Bama?
Couldn't tell you.
We'll just because it's always Bama, we'll say Bama and the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans is a team of professionals led by professional coaches. Bama's a bunch of college kids. The NFL team is going to be more disciplined. They're going to have more years of experience, and they're going to be able to take advantage of the inexperience of these college kids. Because even when superstar college kids come to the NFL, they struggle. They're not going to come in week one and be the best player on the field. It just doesn't happen. You look at Justin Fields, you look at Trevor Lawrence, who were two of the best quarterbacks in college football last year. Trevor Lawrence is considered a generational prospect. He looked terrible last year. And granted, his team was really bad, but he also made a lot of mistakes himself. The game moved a little bit too quickly for him at first. So when you have college kids, a lot of which aren't even going to end up making the NFL, going up against professional athletes, they're just not going to be able to survive. It's just not going to happen. Even if you took the worst NFL team in history, like the 0-16 Lions, they're still probably going to beat the best college team. And I know that sounds crazy, but they're just two completely separate sports. That's something I'm very passionate about because I see that question all the time, and it makes me so pissed off. And they're like, well, Alabama's ran by Nick Saban. Yeah, but it's not a professional team. They're college kids.
Right.
And fun fact, Nick Saban went to the NFL and couldn't handle it. He couldn't hang with them.
Really?
Yeah, he went to the NFL. I think he went to the Dolphins and sucked and came back to college. Because half of being a coach in college football is recruiting, and there's none of that in the NFL. So Nick Saban can't personally construct his team the way he wants to. He has to work with what he's given, and he just wasn't able to do it. Greatest college coach of all time couldn't make it in the NFL. That should tell you all you need to know. So let's move on to basketball because Daniel. Oh, nope. He's got something else.
No, you keep talking. Moving on to basketball, I have a few things I need to do. I'm still listening and I'm still here.
Oh dear
if
God!
I'm getting into basketball time, I'm
He's gonna do a wardrobe change.
Wow. Okay. So
All right.
How should we format this then?
I don't know. What do you specifically want to talk about?
No, I was gonna go over like each series in the first round.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's start with that because we haven't talked basketball in 2 weeks.
I know. Since he's changing, I'm gonna talk about my team.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I can't talk about my team, so you go ahead.
Yeah. So like we said on multiple occasions, we saw it going 6 or 7 games.
Clean sweep, baby. Clean sweep.
The only clean sweep in the entire first round.
Which is so funny because we predicted like every other series to be a sweep except for that one. It was just the complete opposite.
Yeah. Kevin Durant getting shut down is probably, I said this in a TikTok, it's probably the best superstar shutdown of all time.
Yeah.
Like you would think like the Jordan rules, but Jordan still got his buckets.
Yeah.
On that defense. Kevin Durant did not.
Durant.
In specific games, like Kyrie went off, but then in the other games, they both had like 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
The defense in this series was inspirational, to say the least.
You were inspired?
It was inspiring. Ime Udoka absolutely outcoached.
Dude, he put on a clinic. He legitimately put on a coaching clinic. It was insane.
It was crazy. And it kind of makes
All right, I'm back.
All right, hold on. I'll be back. You keep talking, Andrew. You keep talking.
It kind of makes me mad that Ime is not getting consideration for Coach of the Year because he turned the team around completely. Like, we were terrible before January, and then we started winning games. You're so distracting, Daniel. I'm sorry. But
Listen, those Celtics, bro. It is so good to see that building a good basketball team still is better than throwing 2 or 3 superstars on a team and just letting them play ISO ball. They're playing street ball out there, and you guys are playing organized basketball, and it's inspiring to see.
Yeah. So then let's move on to your Warriors, man.
Oh, you didn't, bro. No, you didn't, bro. The Warriors are winning the championship. That is no No exaggeration. This is the deepest I have seen these Warriors since 2015. This Warriors team has shooting. We have IQ with Draymond Green, even though he might get some texts. This team, the way they play, they're playing with more chemistry than they did with Kevin Durant. I'm almost happier for where our team is. We play more like basketball. It's really good to see, especially after watching that Memphis game, watching Jordan Poole go off when Steph Curry didn't do his greatest. Memphis had every reason to win that game. Refereeing was in their side. Clay misses 2 late free throws while only winning by 1. Steph misses 4 to 5 open threes. I mean, wide open, bricking them. Ja Morant had 4 threes. I don't know if you know this. He only had 4 threes in the entire Minnesota series. And he puts up 4 in one game, and they still can't win. I think it shows the entire series. I mean, those Warriors, man, they find a way.
I think that they are the best team in remaining in the playoffs, other than like maybe the Bucks, just because, as shown in Game 1 against the Celtics, their defense is incredible.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that the Warriors and the Bucks meeting in the finals would be bad for the Bucks, because the Bucks defense is like, shoot a 3, you make it, congratulations, go back down the court. And then you go up against the Warriors, who are back to the 73-9 team, where they're just banging out every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Every player can shoot on their team.
Yeah.
If they go up against each other and Mike Budenholzer does not change their game plan, what is going on, guys?
Oh shoot! My fault.
I don't have a Hawaiian shirt or sunglasses.
That's all right.
Go on. Continue.
I'm listening.
If Mike Budenholzer does not change his game plan against the Warriors, then the Warriors will probably demolish them.
We talking about the finals?
Yeah.
Warriors in 4. Warriors in 4.
I was gonna go that far, but I don't know.
The Splash Bros
saying-
and the pool party will destroy all.
I agree.
Pool party.
You know, Steve Kerr has never lost a playoff series that wasn't the finals. Every year, Clay, that Steve Kerr has been that coach, we have gone to the finals when we make the playoffs.
You're a Warriors fan?
Oh, I am such a Warriors fan.
Why am I just now finding out about this? Andrew, is this valid or is this bandwagon?
It's pretty valid. I mean,
Okay.
He was literally he was 9 when they were good.
Yeah.
And that's
okay.
usually when you get into sports. So I mean,
Valid.
you can't really be a bandwagon if you're 5
Yeah,
years old.
it must be nice getting to pick a good team. Daniel, do you know when I got into basketball?
Give me a sec.
You don't need a
2000.
year. You don't need a year. Just like what happened the year before.
It was Derrick Rose got injured.
The year after Rose tore his ACL, I became a Bulls fan.
Sounds about right.
And you know, yeah, the literal worst time to become a Bulls fan.
Listen, I had to watch all my players tear their ACLs. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, I had to watch my guy tear his ACL permanently. Your boys have come back. Rose never came back, damn it. He's done.
In one series, I watched KD tear his Achilles, leave the team, and Clay tear his ACL, and then tear his other meniscus the next year during a workout. I had to wait 1,000 days for that man to play an NBA game.
Okay, anyways.
You don't even want to hear it.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract everybody. I figured I could do a wardrobe change like Daniel and just everything would be fine. I forgot my presence is this intimidating.
Speaking of the Bulls, back to the first round.
No speaking of the Bulls. No speaking of the Bulls.
You want to talk about that, David?
No, in all seriousness, listen, it was rough. It was bad. I had so much confidence with those first couple games because the defense was holding Giannis. They were legitimately putting up a fight against Giannis. And then Zach got hurt, Caruso got hurt, everything fell apart. Now Zach might not come back, and It's just a whole mess. And there's Bulls fans that don't want Zach to come back, and I'm disgusted with them. He is this team right now. And they're like, well, he hasn't quite proven he's worth the Supermax. Motherfucker, he was the only decent player on this team for 3 years. He's worth the Supermax. You pay 100%. A man like that. Zach LaVine's a top 2 shooting guard in basketball. You pay him that money.
If you don't want him, I'll take him for sure.
Now, what's going to end up happening is they're going to fuck around and trade him to the Lakers. And my heart's going to be broken. And then we're going to get a Packers fan as our power forward who can't stay fucking healthy. That's what it's going to end up being. I'm going to have to be an Anthony Davis fan. And I hate Anthony Davis. I hate him.
He's what you need, though. Good defense.
I don't care. Give me Rudy Gobert. Give me Rudy Gobert for cheap. Let me keep Zach LaVine. Send Nikola Vucevic to a fucking death camp somewhere. That might come off as racist because he's not American. I don't mean it like that. I just mean he's a bad basketball player.
Listen.
Daniel, I know you don't watch the podcast a lot. I fucking hate Nikola Vucevic.
No, I've heard.
I hate that man. I have a deep hatred for him. And it was shown in that series. That man did nothing. There was a game where he missed, 10 threes? 10 open threes. First of all, you're a fucking center, okay? I get that the NBA is kind of transitioning to where bigs are shooting, but if you're a center and you take 10 threes and you don't make at least 5 of them, you should be executed after the game. Point blank, period. Play your fucking role. Know your fucking lane. Vucevic doesn't. He doesn't know what defense is. He's a center that can't defend. He belongs on the fucking island of misfit toys. He's not a real basketball player. Point blank, period. You put me out there, I'm locking up Vooch. And Vooch isn't doing shit to me. And I'm 5'11" and weigh nearly 300 pounds, okay? I am embarrassing Nikola Vucevic. That man cannot play defense to save his life. You could give that man a dog catcher net and a shotgun, and he's still going to let up 30 points. He sucks. He's terrible. Trade him for Rudy Gobert. Trade him and Kobe White, as much as I love Kobe as a UNC fan. I have his jersey and everything. Trade him and Kobe White for Rudy Gobert. You get healthy Lonzo back. You run a lineup of Lonzo, Zach, DeMar, Patrick Williams, and Rudy Gobert. That's a legitimate offense, or a legitimate starting 5. You don't need Rudy to score. You don't have to worry about that. We got plenty of scoring through the first 4. And Rudy can still put up points if you need him to. But you don't have. It's not a necessity. And on top of that, you have actual fucking paint presence. Giannis isn't going to butt fuck you every game you play him if you have a guy like Rudy Gobert. We will finally beat Joel Embiid for the first time in his career if you get a guy like Rudy Gobert. Literally just Rudy Gobert. That's all I need. I don't need Anthony Davis. I don't need Karl Anthony Towns. I just need motherfucking Rudy Gobert. He hates Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's apparently got this it's him or me mentality, and obviously they're going to pick Donovan Mitchell. So get Donovan Mitchell a center that can score. Get him a center that can score. Take him. Listen, I will personally drive Nikola Vucevic to Utah if you give us Rudy Gobert in exchange. I will let Rudy Gobert give me COVID-19 if we can trade him for Nikola Vucevic. I am so fed up with this man. I can't take it anymore. I cannot do it.
Breathe.
No, there is no breathing.
Listen, I know you want...
Vucevic should not be able to breathe.
Yeah, Daniel, go ahead.
I know you want Zach LaVine, but what do you think? I just thought about this. What do you think about like LaVine in a first for Bradley Beal?
No, LaVine's better.
You cannot sit here, and tell me LaVine is better than Bradley Beal.
Okay. LaVine's a leader.
LaVine
doesn't give up on his
scorer.
Zach isn't.
Choke. The real reason why the Bucks won.
Mute this kid. Get him off my podcast. I want him out of here. You're done. You're done.
The Bulls couldn't score more than they only scored more than 100 points twice, and they won one of those games.
Yeah, because we're supposed to have 3 scorers, Andrew. We don't have it.
Unfortunately, that's going to be the same thing with the Celtics too, because the Bucks defense is looking like the best defense in the league right now.
Yeah. Fogging up my fucking glasses. Hold on, we're not glossing over this.
Please.
We're not glossing over this. You did not just tell me Bradley Beal is better than Zach.
I told you, Bradley. Are we getting into this?
Andrew,
Bradley
you're the largest knower of ball here. Who is better? Who is better?
Okay. Let's be realistic here.
Oh, you're getting realistic. I'm pulling up basketballreference.com.
No, wait. I think Bradley Beal's stats are a little inflated because he's on a bad team.
No, you cannot tell me Levine's better.
Wait, I think Bradley Beal was better like 2 years ago. But now that he's old, he's not as good.
Preach that shit.
I think you're saying he's not as good because he's on not as good team. If you give him one piece, you give him DeMar DeRozan, he plays just as good as Zach LaVine.
No, he doesn't. Zach's capable of more. He's a better playmaker. He's a better shooter. Not a better shooter. I guess I'll give that to Beal.
Okay.
I'll give that to Beal.
Okay.
He's a better playmaker. He's not too shabby of a shooter, and he's better inside.
I don't think you need him to be a playmaker.
You
if
do.
He's gonna leave.
You do.
And if he's gonna leave anyways, you need value out of that. You don't let him walk.
Yeah, I mean, if we're in a do or die situation where Zach LaVine has to leave, sure. But I'm not giving him a first on top of it. They can give me a first.
I think it'd be Brad in the first for Zach.
Yeah.
And Bradley Beal's middle name is Emmanuel. Enough said, bro. I mean, that's
what the fuck's that have to do with anything? What's Zach LaVine's middle name? Zach LaVine middle name.
I'm looking it up, man. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, it's freaking Emmanuel. I'm telling you.
That's Bradley Beal. I don't care about Bradley Beal's middle name.
Oh, it's Thomas.
Yeah, see, he's more valid. He's more valid.
That's
Zachary Thomas LaVine.
Listen, so Andrew, why I think you're telling me that his production is worse? When you look at pure stats, 2018, 2019, he played 82 games.
Yeah.
That's 3 years ago.
Look better. His stats are going to look better. As of recent, he has not been playing 82 games. Recently, he's played 40 games this season.
Can't stay healthy.
He isn't healthy. When he's healthy, that man is better than.
But he hasn't been healthy in 3 years.
Yeah. We have said this on the podcast. You can't say an if it's in terms of injury.
The best ability is availability. If you're only available for 40 games, you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Oh my God!
So then what about Lonzo Ball?
Well, I mean, Lonzo had one injury. That's one injury.
Bradley Caruso, wasn't he out for half the season?
Yeah, Alex Caruso broke his fucking wrist. We're talking one season here. Beal is a problem because it's been consistent over multiple seasons. If you get hurt for 1 year, that's different. Everyone gets hurt. It happens. It's sports. But if it's a consistent problem that's happening 3 seasons in a row, that's when it becomes a problem.
I think this is the first disagreement we've ever had on the podcast.
It's
you
great.
haven't had a disagreement, guys. You need me on here more. You need some more disagreements, bro. I will be Stephen A. Smith. I will sit here and die on this hill.
Yeah, you came into this telling me that you were Stephen A. and Andrew was Max Kellerman, and I was going to be what's the lady's name? I don't watch
Molly.
First Take. Yeah, I was going to be Molly. Andrew's over here on his Molly shit. I'm Stephen A. and you're Max Kellerman because you're an idiot. Max Kellerman is one of the lowest IQ individuals in sports. He knows boxing, and that's
he
it.
is not the lowest. He's not the lowest.
One of. I didn't say the. I said one of.
Oh my God! What's his name?
Literally, all he knows is Kamaru Usman.
What's his name? Oh my gosh!
Coward.
No, used to play in the NBA.
Kendrick Perkins.
Awful takes. No, not Kendrick Perkins. He played for 2 years.
Jack.
No, he thinks like
he played for
he
2
was
years.
On
Shaq.
He was on First Take like 3 years ago, talking to Shaq about how LeBron's the best player ever, and Michael Jordan.
Ryan Hollins.
Ryan Hollins is the worst.
Who the fuck is Ryan Hollins?
Ryan Hollins should be canceled.
Listen, I'm an NBA casual. I have no idea who that is.
Oh my God, it's right. Oh my God, get in. Get in.
I couldn't think of his name, bro.
What?
What's the other guy's name as well? The guy that's I don't know his name. Nick something, I think.
Oh, no,
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright is worse than Kellerman. Nick Wright is worse than Kellerman.
Nick Wright is worse, but he has some impressive knowledge. He named every single MVP of all time.
Oh my God, he
Wow.
can name names. Whoop-de fucking
names
do.
they
I
can
can name
take
names
back.
too. Doesn't make him smart. Nick Wright, listen, I don't want to get too graphic here, but Nick Wright tends to ride upon LeBron James's member quite often.
Quite.
Mm-hmm.
That's I feel
Where's
like the
LeBron
nicest way I
all
can
time?
say that. LeBron's number 2 all time.
You think LeBron's number 2?
Yes. As a LeBron hater, as someone who actively hates the man, he's number 2 all time. But nobody beats Mike.
I definitely expected you to say way further down.
No.
He's
I
3
used to
all
try to
time.
push this narrative that Larry Bird was better.
Yeah,
Just because I
remember.
love Larry Bird, but
Like,
no. LeBron's the second
2
best
years
ever.
ago, we said that Kobe was second, and I was like,
No, I did
my
not.
God.
I've never put Kobe in my
No,
top 5.
I was 2 years ago, like 6 months after Kobe died, and we were like,
Okay, maybe we said it out of
It's
something like
great.
that. But I don't even know if Kobe's top 10 all time, if I'm being honest with you.
I was just going to say hot take. After this new era of basketball, Kobe's not even top 15.
I don't know.
That's
Kobe's
right.
just
He's
died Michael
11.
Jordan, unfortunately.
He's 11. I think he's 11.
I would
think
probably
11
put him at
is-
11 as well.
I think right now he's 11 or 12.
11
but I
behind
see
Alex
him.
Caruso.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Listen, I love I got to get myself a Caruso jersey. I love Caruso.
People from other planets didn't know what a joke was when they knew basketball. They would freak out.
Well, yeah. What about fucking having the Max Kellerman with the death beam pointed at the world? He wants Iguodala. How do you think they would feel about that?
That is the worst take of all time. Not even lying. That he was being.
I want
serious.
Iguodala. Oh my
I
God.
got serious.
Of everyone on Golden State, open shot, fade the universe on the line, or the aliens have the death beam pointed at the earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala.
That was actually a solid Kellerman impression.
You did the monologue perfectly.
Mhm.
Too. That's crazy.
Everyone, that's how you guys stress it.
Yeah.
I
Of
love
everyone
everyone
on the
on Golden
Warriors.
State.
Or on Golden State, yeah.
Kamaru Usman is so easy to say.
Kamaru Usman.
Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, Max Kellerman knows boxing, but beyond that, he's an idiot.
Mhm.
But dude, I could go on and on about the
Who's
idiots
the-
in media.
Who's the other
You know
guy?
what kills me? You know what kills me about media is how people like Colin Cowherd make a living by having hot takes.
They're not even hot
Just
takes.
because-
Listen, that's the thing about the media. They lie about shit for clicks. That's why you can't trust
I
sports
know.
media anymore. That's why, as much as I want to do sports media for a living, I don't want to get involved with like ESPN because they tell you to do that.
Yeah.
And, like
Right.
I want to be reputable. Like I'll make my jokes here and there, but I'm not. I don't want to say some dumb shit just to say it. I would like to be
Yeah.
like Stephen A though and just fucking yell at people. That would be fun.
Hey, listen, you got that opportunity right here. Yell right at me, and I'll yell
God.
right back.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? The playoffs? At
Yeah,
one point
that's-
or another?
Who do we think is gonna win in this round?
Just go through the matchups. I don't even know the fucking matchups. I have not been paying attention.
So right now you got Phoenix, Dallas,
Dallas?
Dallas 1 and 4.
The Dallas Mavis.
They actually are playing tonight. You got Phoenix, Dallas. This is in the West. Phoenix, Dallas.
Have
Golden
they played
State,
any
and
games
Memphis.
yet? Hold on. With Phoenix, let's
No.
go one at a time. So
Okay.
Phoenix, Dallas. Has the
Phoenix,
series
Dallas.
actually started yet?
They're playing tonight. They might be playing right now.
Okay. How did Phoenix fare in the last round? Because I know there were a couple games where they were looking kind of shoddy.
6 games against a bad Pelicans team.
Yeah.
And Devin
Mhm.
Booker, I think.
Oh yeah, D-Book got hurt, didn't he? How long is he out
think
for
it's-
though?
Not that much longer, I don't think.
Okay. If he comes back this series, I think the Suns hand it to him. Luka can only do so much, and Luka's hurt too, isn't he? Or did he come back?
I think he's already back.
Okay.
But you also have the Dallas Mavericks who lost 2 to Utah.
Yeah.
I think Utah's better than the Pelicans.
I also think Utah is
Yeah,
marginally
definitely.
better than the Pelicans.
I think DeAndre Ayton will have a field day because
Yeah, who's guarding him, Maxey?
I guess so. With Kleber.
Kleba. Daniel, how do you
Yeah.
say his name? Because we've talked about that on here before. We don't know how to say his name.
How do you guys saying it?
Maxi Kleba.
I promise you, it's Kleba.
We think
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
Kleba. Okay.
Yeah, Max Kleber.
It says it Kleba, so I'm gonna trust that actually.
Okay.
I think Dallas versus Phoenix goes. Let's go 6 games. Phoenix.
I think that's respectable, especially if D-Book isn't there to start it out. I think 6 games is respectable. So what do you have as the next series?
Goes.
No, go ahead.
So the next series is Warriors and Memphis. I see a 4-1 Warriors.
A gentleman's sweep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't. From watching that first game, that tells you everything about this series. The Memphis Grizzlies are just unexperienced with playoff stuff, and you have veterans that are so amazing on that Warriors team who are leading the way, and they're fighting hard.
Exactly.
Daniel, I want to ask you. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So Draymond is playing just as physical as he was in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
He wants this bad.
Yeah.
He's had a chip on his shoulder since he entered the league, and you can see it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, as a Warriors fan, how do you feel about the whole DEFCON 5 lineup?
I don't know.
You know what I'm referring to, right? You've seen the I think it's StatMuse calls them the DEFCON 5.
I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking
Steph, Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond.
I personally don't like it as much as I liked what we started. I think Jordan Poole plays better off the bench when he can come in with a few points scored and doesn't have to be the opener. I liked when we started. I think we started Gary Payton at the 2. We need that defense.
I forgot Gary Payton the second was there.
Yeah, he's
such a deep team. I forgot Andrew Wiggins was on that team.
Yeah.
You mean former All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins? You forgot he was on the team?
He's irrelevant.
But
I think Gary Payton brings such a level to this team that I don't think you get from Jordan Poole.
Didn't he?
He's just like his dad, man.
Yeah, wasn't there a clip of him recently just absolutely yamming on somebody?
Yeah, game 1 he was.
Who was it on? Who was it on?
Might have been Brandon Clark.
Oh, that's a big body. Too.
Not Brandon Clark. I love Brandon Clark. No.
Yeah.
Can't have my boy on a highlight reel.
Attacks Brandon Clark. So
Draymond brutally attacks everyone every 5 seconds.
Wait, was it Jordan Poole or was it Gary Payton?
I thought it was Gary Payton. Maybe it wasn't. It was some dude with a headband.
Gary Payton.
Okay. So yeah, I think Warriors gentleman sweep.
Yeah.
What's next?
It was on Desmond Bane.
Bane. Okay. Well, fuck Desmond Bane. We don't care about him.
Desmond Bane is like 6'3", 275, pure muscle. It's crazy.
Is he actually that big?
He's not that big, but he looks huge. He looks.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say. Listen, like I said, I'm a casual. I don't know how big these dudes are. 6'3", 275 would be insane.
What, Andrew?
He's 215. He's 215.
No, you're kidding. You're lying. That's a cat right there. Wow.
All right. What else do we got?
We got Milwaukee, Boston.
Ooh.
That series is rough. It's rough.
I got Milwaukee in 7.
I got Milwaukee in 6.
Yeah, I got to go with Andrew on that. That one clip of Giannis absolutely embarrassing Jason Tatum, dude. Or Jason Tatum like dives and is like level while Giannis is simply laying it into the basket.
Yeah, it's bad. I think actually Bucks in 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
The problem. Sorry. Go ahead.
Without Chris Middleton, it doesn't matter.
Our
defense. It's not even our defense's fault. Like Giannis had a bad game.
A bad game for Giannis is still putting up 20 points.
He had a triple double.
Yeah,
it was a bad game. He was inefficient for Giannis, which is like he shot 75% basically, but he had a lot of turnovers.
Mhm.
We missed so many shots, and the thing about that is the Celtics are such a team where it's like we start off bad, we stay bad.
Yeah.
Like maybe a little bit we get like start off bad and then like we start swinging back. But like if we start off bad and we're shooting bad and we shoot like 2 for 7 from 3 to start off the game, then we're gonna continue shooting at that rate for the entire rest of the game. And we
Mhm.
shot 53 pointers, a franchise record for the Boston Celtics in the playoffs.
Wait,
And we made 18.
50 in a game?
No, 50. 50, yes. We shot 50
In a
They
game.
shot 50 3-pointers.
in a game.
Jesus Christ.
Out of
Those are
check how
Kobe
many
numbers.
shots we shot.
Those are
Literally,
Kobe
yes.
numbers.
Let me check what this says
18
here.
for
How many threes
50.
we shot.
Jesus.
I need to see how many actual shots we shot.
Yeah. While you figure that out, my big problem with this series is that the Celtics defense is fantastic, but the Bucks, it's just like anyone on that floor can score at any moment. So you have to play flawless defense to be able to stop the Bucks. And even the Celtics being the best defensive team in basketball, it's not going to happen every game. It's just not. And if even one guy is able to do slightly better than they're projected to, and Boston has a game, like you said, where they start out cold and can't get hot, it's just wraps. It's wraps.
We shot 84 times.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like
50 or 84 shots were threes.
oh my
And we
god.
made 18 of those.
It's a shame because I feel like the Celtics are built to beat, when I look at it, every other team
Yeah.
in the East that isn't the Bucks. They're built to beat smaller teams.
This is our
They're
fault.
not built
I'm
to
sorry.
be a 7-foot beast.
This is our fault.
Yeah.
See, you could be
Brook
dealing.
Lopez and Giannis combination is so hard on defense to beat.
Mhm.
Can't get anywhere close to the lane, or they will absolutely sinfully volleyball spike the shot into the earth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Future Chicago Bull Giannis Antetokounmpo just putting on a masterclass against the Celtics, unfortunately.
It won't happen.
But
I
what
don't
if?
think Giannis ever leaves the Bucks.
But what if?
Honestly, I would.
But what if?
I want Giannis to stay on the Bucks, and I want him to win like 5 more championships.
I want
That'd be
Giannis to go to the Bulls and do just well enough to be better than LeBron, but not good enough to be better than Jordan.
Okay.
And then Alex Caruso will come in and be better than all of them.
Yeah.
Even though he's already like what? 27, 28?
So old already.
Caruso's going to play
All
till
right.
he's 60. It's okay. He's got that dog in him. He's simply got that dog in him. He just wants it more. He does. Listen. The Lakers letting go of Caruso is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I love Caruso so much with all my heart. I need that man's jersey so bad. He is my favorite player on the floor at any given moment. Just because watching Alex Caruso is like watching 90s basketball in the year 2022, and he makes it work. Like, he's not a super flashy dude, but he's just everywhere at any given moment, especially on defense. It's insanity. I love it.
Did the Lakers draft Caruso?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a second rounder?
They really like drafting bouncy white guys because Mac McClung is also on that team.
Did he get drafted there?
Yeah.
Really?
Just
He was
think
on the
about
Bulls
this.
for a couple games.
That's the
Those Lakers without trades have Lonzo Ball. But if this was like 2017, they didn't trade all these pieces. They have Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell. I know you can't pay all those guys forever, but you got 1 or 2 years where that's a solid team.
I don't think all of them would have hit their peaks in LA.
They wouldn't have, but hypothetically.
What if?
What if?
I'm
What
a
if?
hypothetical guy. I know you guys don't like that. I'm a hypothetical guy.
Hypothetically
Oh,
speaking.
David.
Hey, hold on. Daniel, hypothetically speaking, you're a bitch.
Hypothetically speaking, who asked?
Get off my podcast. Leave. You're done.
No. Okay, David.
Mm-hmm.
In either era, you pick what era you think. Does the 1996 Bulls beat the 2017-2018 Warriors?
I want to be biased and say yes, because listen, hear me out. I'm not done.
Okay.
That Bulls team defensively was incredible. Arguably the best defensive team of all time. Like, you're going to have MJ on Curry. Wait, which Warriors team again?
2017-18, where you got KD.
Okay,
Clay.
so with KD. Okay, I'm used to 2016. Okay, so that makes it a little bit different. So you're probably putting MJ on Clay then. You're going to have Pip on KD, and you're going to rely, what year did you say, 96? I guess Ron Harper's going to try to guard Curry. And then, I don't know, Rodman on Kukoc. Jesus, Rodman on Draymond. So I feel like defensively they match up, but I don't know, the speed of the game's different, and teams weren't taking as many threes back then, and the Bulls weren't a fantastic shooting team. Like, it's not like Steve Kerr's going to come out and drop 60 every night and shoot 40 threes. So I don't know. I think the Bulls would legitimately just have to, like... Plus, if we're playing, like, with modern rules, the Bulls aren't going to be able to play quite as physical, which is going to hurt them a lot.
Right.
So it really depends. It depends on what rule set you're going with. Like, if it's modern, I think the Warriors smoke them. But if you're going old school rules, the Bulls are going to beat the shit out of them. They're not going to be able to handle the physicality of the Bulls back then. Like, as physical as Draymond is, Dennis Rodman's going to make him look like a bitch. As physical, like, Kevin Durant wouldn't survive. He simply would not survive. Curry is going to get...
Kevin Durant would be the Derrick Rose of the 90s.
Every time...
He hurt himself and never be the same.
Every time Curry goes anywhere near the basket, he's going to get fucking hand-checked and die. Clay would be...
around the three.
Yeah, but the Bulls, I mean, if they're playing this physical defense, they're going to find ways to stop. And the only one I think that would translate well to the 90s is Clay, just because he's going to sit in the corner and shoot. I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, Wally Zerbiak. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. The Fallen Angel. Russian guy. He died in a car accident.
What?
I gotta look this up. He got hit by a fucking 18-wheeler over in his country.
I think I'm the casual, bro. I don't know.
No, I'm definitely the casual in when it comes to the NBA. Drazen Petrovic.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking of. Drazen Petrovic, yeah. Yeah, did you know that? He got killed by an 18-wheeler when he was in his home country?
I thought it was...
No.
I thought he was still alive.
No, he died. They call him the Fallen Angel because him and a group of people are in a car. And they, like, a 18-wheeler late at night hit, like, a patch of ice and skid and hit him. I'm almost positive, unless I'm thinking of someone completely different. So he was over in Yugoslavia. Yeah, died in 90... No, it's... Died in 93 at the age of 28. Oh, he was in Germany. He wasn't in Yugoslavia. He was in Germany. Here. Death and Legacy. In the summer of 93, after his best NBA season... he traveled to Berlin, where the Croatian national team was playing a qualification tournament. He was contemplating departure from the Nets, disappointed with the fact that the Nets had not yet extended his contract. Blah, blah, blah. He decided to skip some sort of meeting and fly back to Zagreb and drive with his girlfriend back to Croatia. He died in a traffic accident at about 5:20 p.m., rain-drenched. Oh, he was on the fucking Autobahn. Holy shit. He was a passenger in a car that was cut off by a semi-truck, and it just, like, straight up fucked him up. Yeah, he died in the car accident. So they call him the Fallen Angel. But he was, like, the OG shooter. Like he was the first guy to really make threes, like, his entire game. So, yeah, it depends on the era. As much as I shit on LeBron versus Jordan, I find it really hard to compare eras with the NBA more than any other sport, just because it's completely different.
I agree.
Like, I don't think LeBron would survive in the 90s whatsoever. LeBron's soft. I don't care what anyone says. He's soft. You put him up against the 96 Bulls, you put him up against the bad boy Pistons, you have him try to get into a scuffle with Larry Bird, he's folding. Right away, he's folding. I will say, though, and maybe I'm a bit biased with this, I think MJ would be able to translate to today's NBA. Because you look at a guy like DeMar, who's completely made his game off of mid-range, and he was an MVP candidate for the majority of the season until he got inconsistent. And MJ never had that inconsistency. But also MJ, like his mentality, the way he worked, he would be in the gym shooting 6,000 threes until he figured out how to do it right.
Yeah.
The only thing is he'd have to go not as hard on defense, which might hurt him a little bit. But I don't know. It's tough to say. Is my point. I would like if we're playing by the '90s rules, I'm taking the Bulls. If we're playing by today's rules, I'm taking the Warriors. To answer your question.
Okay. What you said about MJ, it might translate well. I don't think Michael Jordan's the best player in the league if he plays today.
I don't know.
I don't think
I would say that too. Just because, like, when Michael Jordan played, he was the best defender and also the best offensive player. He wouldn't be the best defender anymore because of the rules.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
I feel like somebody like Giannis would be better because Giannis is probably the best defender in the league. And
That's
also
valid. I can get behind
almost
that.
won the scoring title.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I do think MJ would be the best scorer in the league, though, if he played today. If we're going with my hypothetical, because it's hypotheticals, I hate fucking doing hypotheticals. But if MJ is going to be in today's modern NBA, he's going to figure out how to shoot threes. So he's going to be the best scorer. And maybe he can't quite translate on defense because he can't play as physical. But, who knows?
Purely scoring, is Michael Jordan or KD better?
MJ.
Scoring the basketball.
MJ, easy. KD's a better shooter,
really?
But you cannot stop MJ. If he had full head of like he's how do I describe it? There was no way to stop MJ from scoring. Nobody could do it. Even Andrew mentioned earlier, the bad boy Pistons, even when they were literally beating the shit out of him, when he'd go to the rack, he'd still get his buckets. When he was playing on the literally the described cocaine circus of the the mid 1980s Chicago Bulls, he still put up 60 in a fucking playoff game. Like MJ's going to get his points no matter what. KD, as we saw in this last series with Boston, he can be stopped. MJ couldn't.
That changes a lot. Before that series, Celtics series, I would have said KD.
I probably still would have went with Mike.
I think as KD's career has gone on, he's gotten to be a worse scorer. But
yeah,
if we're talking primes, it's very close. But
yes.
I'm still taking MJ because of sheer averages.
Mm-hmm.
Like MJ didn't have a 3-point shot, but he still averaged 37 points in a season.
And the thing with that is MJ just didn't need to. And when MJ needed to, he did. If anyone ever doubted him, specifically the game against the Trailblazers with Clyde Drexler, where Clyde was like, I can shoot a better ball than you. MJ came out and shot 7 threes in the first half, which was insanity back then. That was like witchcraft back in the 90s. Like if MJ, let me put it this way. If MJ was alive in today's Jesus Christ, if prime MJ was alive in today's NBA, like if we had prime MJ in today's NBA, I think that man would be low-key, just based off sheer determination. This might be a hot take. He might have been better. Just because back then, the criticisms were a lot more limited than they would be today. Like back then, it was the beat writers and shit like that. Today, you've got Kellerman, you've got Stephen A., you've got Twitter, you've got everything, you've got podcasts. MJ would sit and listen to this shit for hours, internalize it, and he would hear one offhand comment in a podcast. He'd be like, some random say us, for example. He'd find one of our podcasts somehow, and Andrew would say something like, I think MJ needs to work on his fucking lateral quickness or some dumb shit. MJ would come out the next game and look like the second coming of Christ. Like that's the type of shit we'd be talking about with MJ. Maybe I'm overrating him as a Bulls fan, and I'm looking at him as more of this legend rather than a human. But the way he internalized shit and the way he used that to motivate him, if he was I keep almost saying alive, Jesus Christ, if he was playing during the social media era, I don't know. I think we would see some inhumane shit just to prove people wrong, just purely out of spite. Michael Jordan is a human being that runs completely on spite, and it is insane, and I love it.
Okay.
I also do think MJ would have burners on Twitter. I'm not going to lie to you.
He would.
I think he'd be like KD. I think he'd have burners. Yeah.
Exactly like KD.
Hey, I got a question, David.
Okay, go ahead.
How hard is it on this recording to share your screen? Does that work?
We've never tried it.
You know what you should do? You should play Podal.
We're almost 2 hours into
Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't see a problem with it.
Listen. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Daniel, we will. I'm not cutting it short or anything, but I'm just saying for future reference, we're gonna have you back on. Obviously, like you are easily accessible to us as a guest. So next time you're on, we will play Pirtle. We will play Pirtle and we will play Weddle, so I can show you guys who's fucking boss with football, just so I can feel good about myself and not have my ego hurt too much when I can't name the fucking fourth point guard on the Mavericks or some shit. But I'll be able to name the Titans' second long snapper.
Yeah,
That's how
Go
we're
ahead.
doing.
Go ahead.
They don't have a second long snapper right now, but hypothetically speaking, yeah, they have one long snapper if they even have a long snapper.
Guys, I didn't know long snapper was a position until 2 years ago. Dead serious.
So when you were 13, you found out.
I thought they just used the centers.
Mans
I
hit
didn't
puberty and learned what a
I
long
didn't
snapper
know-
was very quickly.
Yeah.
First thing he
I
did
didn't
when he
know
hit
the long
puberty.
snapper was until just now, actually. Weirdly enough.
Really? Do you know what a long snapper does, Andrew?
They snap it long. For like
For
You
what?
know?
For what? When specifically are they
Punts.
used? Punts and kicks.
I
Yep.
know for sure punts.
Punts
yeah.
and like extra points and field goals. Okay.
Yeah, I know that Maryland, the University of Maryland has about 4 or 5 of them for no reason. Because I went to one of their games and I was like, oh, that guy's got to be a fullback, right? Because he was like short and jacked.
Mm-hmm.
He was not a fullback. Because he went over with like these other like 6'5" people that were like huge, and they were all just snapping the ball 40 yards for no reason. It was so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, long snappers are a position, crazily enough. Did we make it through all the playoff games, or is there one we're missing? What one are we missing?
We didn't.
It's in the East. It's in the East.
Miami, Philly.
Miami, Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, Miami,
Miami
easy. I'm taking Miami all day.
I think it's Miami in 6.
Miami in 5.
Yeah.
I think
Wait.
the Sixers are screwed.
Yeah.
because Embiid is injured.
Yeah, Embiid got
forgot.
hurt. You're right.
I forgot Embiid's injured. I'll take him in 5.
Yeah. Embiid in 5. I think the Heat are still frauds, though. I think the Heat
Really?
will probably get if they play the Bucks, they will get exposed against the Bucks.
Who, the
because
Heat?
They're not. Yeah. They have like. I don't know if this is still completely accurate, just based on roster changes or whatever. But they are not a very good shooting team as a whole. Like they have Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson, which are like 2 really good shooters. But then you have like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, who are like only in the paint, and that hasn't really been an issue for them. But against a team like the Bucks, which is like shoot it, actually.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard for them to cope with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that the Heat could go to the finals if they have to play the Bucks. I think it's an up. I think it's a chance.
I think it's a chance, but I think I am personally overrating the Bucks just because we're playing them, and I'm like, no, they're really good. They're really good.
That's the only reason they're beating us. It's because they're really good.
There's 4-0.
I mean, I think the Bucks are the second best team in basketball right now.
Yeah.
Behind my Golden State Warriors.
I would agree with that, actually.
Yes. Your Golden State Warriors for a whole 6 years.
I was a fan when we didn't make the playoffs, so I'm not a bandwagon.
Ooh.
Yeah, all
One
the
year.
All the Warriors fans that were, like before they missed the playoffs are now Nets fans, and now the Nets fans got swept. So let's get it.
And the Nets fans are following when KD goes to the Celtics.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about that.
I think you mean future Chicago Bull Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you know it.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about the NBA? We went all over the place.
Yeah.
Very on brand.
30-minute section.
I told you, I like the NBA, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So I told you guys before we started recording, I don't remember if I said it at the start of the recording, that I had a question for you guys that I thought was very interesting. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
I just
fine.
forgot. I have a random basketball player of the day for us. OJ Mayo.
Whoa, didn't he get fucking banned from the NBA?
Hey, whoa. He played 82 games in his first 2 seasons.
And then got banned from the NBA.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Too cool of a name.
OJ Mayo. Too cool of a name and too cool of a time off the field or off the court. Right, that's what it was. It was this, right? Isn't that what it was? He was doing a little bit too much of this.
Tyreek Evans got banned for a little bit of a good time.
Yeah. Okay. I got my obscure guards mixed up, I'm afraid. Former Rookie of the Year Tyreek Evans, an obscure guard.
Yeah, I just wanted to give us our player of the day.
So why isn't OJ Mayo playing?
Bro, I don't know.
He's old, I think.
He do be old, I think.
I thought he got banned from the NBA too.
OJ
Orange
Mayo.
juice mayonnaise.
Born in 1987. Nah, he's
I'm
like
sorry.
34.
His name is
he's just bad.
Ovington Anthony Mayo.
Yeah, you didn't know he had that little Anthony in there?
Oh, wait, what's the first name?
Ovington
Anthony.
Anthony Mayo.
Anthony. You guys know he was the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
In the 2008 draft.
Absolutely.
And let's go look at this 2008 draft really quick. Derrick Rose, Brooke Lopez, Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook, Danilo Gallinari.
No,
Lopez.
Mayo did get banned for having a little bit too much of a good time in 2008, 2016. 8-year difference.
My word.
Yeah, he was drafted in 2008. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Didn't the Grizzlies pick him? He was drafted by the Grizzlies.
What?
Wasn't he drafted by the Grizzlies?
Who drafted OJ Mayo?
Minnesota. Yep.
Yeah,
Minnesota
Grizzlies with the 3rd overall pick. Okay. All right, so that's our random NBA player of the day. Thank you for that, Daniel.
Of course.
Anyways, I have this question for you guys, and it's a bit of a thinker. It has nothing to do with basketball, nothing to do with sports.
Here we go.
Have you guys heard of the concept of real-life NPCs?
Yes.
And not like in the sense that someone's basic.
What?
The idea that random people you run into in the real world mean nothing. They are nothing to you.
Oh.
You will never interact with them ever again. You do not have to worry about how you present yourself to them because they're NPCs and they have no opinion of you. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like that makes me a very dangerous person.
Andrew Watkins.
I will do some mischievous stuff.
Menace to society over here.
It's kind of encouraging to think of stuff that way because it's like I'll never see this person again. I'm gonna be outgoing.
Yeah.
And like be myself. Mm-hmm. But like, don't be mean.
Just walk up to people and start fucking punching them in the throat. I'll never see you again. You don't know me. Then you get hit with an assault charge and get thrown in jail.
Yeah, and they see you a lot because
you'll know them for sure.
Yeah, because you're in court against them. Yeah. No, I saw that the other day, and that like fucked with my head because I'm a very self-conscious person, legitimately speaking. Even though I don't act like it, I am. Obviously, I'm super comfortable around you guys, so it doesn't matter. But like out in the real world, like in college, for example, so many people there that I'm not going to have meaningful interactions with because it's a campus of thousands of people, and I'm probably not going to see them very often. I walk around that motherfucker with my tail between my legs. Like it is scary. But then you think about that kind of stuff, like Andrew said, and it's like, oh, okay. It's something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I felt like that was going to lead to a more meaningful conversation, but we're all just kind of like, yeah, that's cool.
No.
Oh no, Daniel's got something. Okay, here we go.
Hold up. It was in my head, and you started talking, David, and it's gone. You gotta give me 10 seconds. Hold up.
10.
Hold up.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
it's gone.
1. You failed us.
It was a good one.
Okay. There it is.
It was like I had to be like. I didn't realize until I was 10. So it's so weird. It was so weird for me for some reason as a kid, understanding the concept that people are living lives as well.
Yeah.
Like that in my head, my life is so meaningful. I can't look at someone and be like, oh yes, they're living a life. They're having problems. It's so weird. I didn't realize till 10 that everyone wasn't a robot. I'm dead serious.
I thought I was like, the Truman Show. I thought I was Truman until like.
Well, Andrew, you are the main character.
No, that's something that I would like to say about myself, but it's definitely not true. I'm like the idiot friend that they're like.
Dude, I'm the comic
"Oh my
relief.
God,
I'm the comic relief. I fully accepted that. I've known that since middle school.
The drunk uncle comic relief.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I think the best comparison anyone's ever given me, I think Emily pointed this out to me. I'm like Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's like especially when I used to hang out with He Who Shall Not Be Named all the time. He's exactly like Ferris. Andrew, I know you know who I'm talking about, right? Daniel
I
might
think
not.
I know who you're
Okay.
talking about.
Anyways, he's exactly like Ferris, so me being Cameron was very fitting, and I stand by that. I think that's very accurate.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I am the comic relief.
So, just because I thought of it, word of the day is Sonder. The realization that each random passerby is living a life just as vivid and complex as
there's
yours.
a whole fucking word for that?
Sonder.
Yeah. It's like I've been sondering recently, legit.
You've been pondering and sondering.
They're living a life. That's my new podcast name, guys. It'll be out in a few weeks.
Pondering and sondering. Not if I trademark it.
Not if Daniel Reed.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. Okay.
Dude, that's a sick name for a podcast, though. Pondering and Sondering with Daniel Reed.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to freaking start it now. Look at the pressure you're putting up.
Just literally just walk up to random people on the street and invite them on your podcast and learn about their life story.
Yo,
that's actually a solid premise.
This guy who actually inspires me, his name's Vic Blends, and he goes out and just cuts people's hair for free.
Yeah, on TikTok.
And we'll
is that the dude who was at the NFL draft and was cutting draft picks hairs? Oh, I did see that.
He has some meaningful conversations with him. It's really cool.
Yeah. You know who I've been really inspired by recently?
Who?
Fucking Balin Levine. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so he's a YouTuber with 3 million subscribers. And his entire brand, he's 20, I think. His entire brand is just not growing up. So his YouTube career consists of him going around and fucking around in Walmart and shit. And he's not an asshole guy or anything like that. It's not like he's going up to people and fucking with them. It's goofy stuff. He walks around Walmart dressed as a pirate and tries to have sword fights with people, or he'll take his shirt off and put it on a mannequin and walk up to an employee and be like, "Hey, do you know where I can get this shirt?" Goofy stuff like that. He's not a dick, and he's very anti-drug, anti-vape, and stuff like that. So he's a good dude, and he's just living his life. He's got a mansion in Florida from the shit. He just did a tour, or he just did a live show. His best friend is Lil Yachty. He's living his life just by being a kid. It's hilarious. And just the fact that he's made a living off of that is extremely inspiring to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since that didn't I guess it kind of did spark a conversation, but I have another question for you guys. If you could perform one science experiment with no moral restrictions, what would you do?
Oh wow.
Oh no, Andrew's got one.
No, I don't. I was gonna say would you date me? Stuff like that,
That's not an experiment, bro.
Worldwide survey. Rate me out of 10.
I saw one where this guy was he wanted to train gorillas to lift weights and then give them anabolic steroids just to see how fucking swole they could get.
I claim that one.
But then he ended it with, and then I'd let them loose on a mall. And then someone asked him about it. He was like, I just want to see what stores they'd enjoy.
Well, that's more the morally wrong part.
And then someone else said they wanted to take an orphaned baby and have it be raised by gorillas in a safe environment to see if it would end up like Tarzan.
Yes, that's another one.
Like there's a lot of
things about human nature. I just I guess like just discovering how the human brain works
Mm-hmm.
in different environments. Like what changes about somebody that like maybe like based on trauma like loses memory or whatever.
Right.
Like this issues that like you wouldn't be able to solve normally because like it's like wrong to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be good for all of humankind for something like that to
Mm-hmm.
be discovered.
I've got mine.
You see, you've got something Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
I would have a child be born. No moral restrictions, right?
Right, none.
No.
This child would be born and would instantly. Not saying it doesn't happen because sadly and very illegally it happens. But I want this child to be born and never see outside until 18. Like actually never look through a window.
That would be insane.
And put them out there and see what happens.
Right, see how they react.
18, and here you go.
Yeah, just kind of let them loose on society.
Because that would kind of be like what a baby sees for the first time. You can't hear what they think when they see the world for the first time. You'd finally see some person's first view of the world, what they think.
That would actually be crazy. See,
that would be so cool.
Y'all came up with these deep fucking answers, and I was just gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a baby and make them be raised as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan."
Right here.
Yeah, Daniel's. See, that's you guys don't know. Daniel's actually my experiment.
That's cool.
That's why I call him my son. Yeah, this was the big reveal. Daniel's actually my biological son. I am forcing him to live in a Steelers household just to see how bad it fucks him up long term.
Real bad. Hold
on, Daniel. I have a question.
Okay.
Your family isn't planning on watching this podcast, are they? Okay.
I'm gonna see.
I hope not, because they have a decent image of me. Listen, it's just for reference, right? We all went to high school together. Okay. I was a senior when Daniel was a freshman and Andrew was a sophomore. I've known Andrew since he was a 6th grader and I was an 8th grader. And I met Daniel 2 years ago because we were in a play together. And we had like very limited contact. My senior year, we became good friends. So there's an age gap, right? And I'm supposed to be the responsible one. I'm supposed to be like the responsible one. I'm over here saying motherfuck this and motherfuck that with a 15-year-old sitting here.
Yeah. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Vucevic. Yeah, that's all I'm thinking.
Just because
I hope to God my parents will watch
right.
This.
And to make it worse, Daniel comes from like a very calm Christian household, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, but like my mouth in that home.
And that on like the family TV.
Yeah. Wow, guys, look, it's Daniel on the TV. Fuck Nikola Vucevic. I want to put him in a death camp.
Like, hey guys, we're gonna watch Daniel as an accomplishment. Let's watch on the family TV. Let's invite the extended family.
Oh my word!
Fucking great Aunt Ruth flies in from Wyoming just to watch me go motherfucker every 5 minutes. Oh man. Like it's
talk about OJ Mayo being named Anthony.
Anthony. That's the part that's gonna get him. Not my mouth. Anthony.
This is ridiculous.
Oh dear God. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
I got one more question.
Every time this kid says "okay," my brain shuts off.
If you can recommend one movie for everyone to watch, what would it be?
Any one movie.
One movie.
That's so difficult.
Do they have to like it?
No, just a movie you like.
Yeah.
Oh.
How about we do this? How about we do this? How about we do this? We'll do it for each other. Each one of us is going to recommend a movie. The other two have to watch it, and the next time Daniel's in the podcast, we'll talk about it.
Yes.
It's not going to be next week because we already have a guest set up for next week, but in 2 weeks. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Daniel, you go first. No, you go first. It was your idea. Okay. Andrew, do you have one?
Okay. Giving a quick summary too.
You just like not like anything spoilery, but just like
my favorite movie of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I knew he was gonna say it. I knew it.
Jim Carrey it gives an Oscar-worthy serious performance alongside like Elijah Wood and Kirsten Dunst and Mark Ruffalo and Kate Winslet, I think.
Now, hold on.
So
Andrew,
good.
what is this movie rated?
I don't know.
Will Daniel be like scarred for life if he watches it?
Nah, listen, I've seen some bad stuff, bro.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I think you'll
I watch Cars too, bro. I'm fine.
Yes. See, now I'm just gonna tell you to watch a Serbian film and ruin your fucking brain. Do either of you know what that is? I hope not. Please tell me no. You don't know what a Serbian film is, right?
Mm-mm.
Andrew, do you?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, that makes me happy. Continue.
Don't make me look that up, man.
I'll explain it in a
right
minute.
now.
I'll explain it. No, don't. I'll explain it in a minute. Just Andrew, keep talking.
It's like a really good story about like accepting like loss and moving on in your life. It's like, and the music is so beautiful. I promise you. I listen to it and it's like one of those songs where you listen to it and you're like, I'm in a movie right now. It's crazy.
Because you're the main
It's like-
character.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like sad. It's funny at times. It's so good.
Mhm.
It's a 10 out of 10 for me personally. Of
Okay.
course it is. It's my favorite movie. But
Yeah, okay. Daniel, do you have one?
I got one. I'm a little
Okay.
upset that you got the sad one because I'm totally ruining the vibe now.
No, that's okay.
Shanghai Noon. Have y'all watched Shanghai Noon?
I have not.
Oh, Shanghai Noon. The best duo ever to hit the screen. Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson.
Oh no.
Oh dear
Go on
God.
this adventure.
I know what this movie is, but I haven't seen it.
So it's set in Nevada. And they're
Okay.
going this. So the kung fu guy, obviously being Owen Wilson. Sorry, Jackie Chan. Sorry, Jackie Chan. So it's like
No, listen. Before you go on, I want a movie so bad now where Owen Wilson's a kung fu master and Jackie Chan is like a suburban dad.
Wow.
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 What a lovely
So-
family. Wow. Hiya.
so his name. So Jackie Chan's is Chon Wang, who is like literally this Chinese like emperor,
Okay.
and his princess gets lost, and he goes to run to retrieve her. And this is set in 1881. He goes to retrieve her,
Okay.
and he gets stuck in the Old West with Jackie Chan.
Okay.
So this man is lost out of his mind watching Jackie Chan. Sorry, Owen Wilson. Oh, he gets locked in with Owen Wilson. So Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson are now in like the West.
Okay, don't say anything else. Don't spoil it. We got Jackie
It-
Chan, Owen Wilson in the Old West. Jackie Chan is crazy Japanese dictator or emperor man that knows karate. Okay.
No, I mixed it up.
Oh, so Owen Wilson knows karate.
Freak, I keep mixing the names. Jackie Chan is
How?
the emperor.
How are you
Owen
mixing up the
Wilson.
whitest man to ever live in Jackie Chan?
I don't know, bro. Their names are right beside each other on the thing I'm looking
They're
at.
completely different names.
They're on the opposite sides of the spectrum. This is like, I don't know if this movie stars Shaq or Michael Cera.
The picture, Owen Wilson's name is above Jackie Chan's face. That's the problem.
Oh.
So keep
So
looking too
Owen
quick.
Wilson's playing Jackie Chan and Jackie Chan's playing Owen Wilson.
Hey, Owen Wilson.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
But it's
Nope.
a good movie.
Nope, we got it. Okay.
Very.
What's it
very
called again?
comical.
Shanghai Noon.
Shanghai
All right, I gotta write these down. So.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that.
Movie, or are you just making up a random movie?
No, it's dead serious. I've watched like 20 minutes of it.
Shang.
We got a visitor.
Oh, Christopher Reed, ladies and gentlemen.
We're recording the podcast right now. You want to?
You're recording a podcast?
Yeah.
Bro,
What's good?
you are right now talking to Hot and Cold Podcast, Sports and More right now.
That's pretty cool.
You're talking to the world right now. What do you want to say?
World, I want you to take these guys seriously. They know their stuff in
Yeah.
terms of sports.
Right now, we're talking about Shanghai Noon.
And right now, we're talking about Shanghai Noon? Okay. I thought you were talking about sports.
No.
I heard you talking about it. It's a hot take. I've never seen it personally, so
Yeah, watch it.
see it to get a good opinion on it.
All right.
Little wholesome Christopher Reed moment
You're
for
gonna
you,
get
ladies and
blunt.
gentlemen.
Chill.
Wholesome Christmas.
I'll let you guys
Wholesome
do your thing.
Christmas.
Okay.
See you guys.
Goodbye, Chris.
Bye, buddy.
Wholesome Chris moment.
Wholesome Christopher Reed moment.
All right, so we got Shanghai Noon, Andrew's movie, which
Okay.
is what?
So,
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
yeah.
What?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's crazy.
Okay. So Andrew's got like the deep, somewhat philosophical movie. Daniel's got goofy Jackie Chan movie. So it's only fitting that I go with a coming of age story. And I'm going to do exactly what Andrew did and give you my favorite movie of all time. And that is The Age of 17, starring the love of my life, Haley Steinfeld. It's about this girl who loses her father at a very young age, and then she becomes a teenager and has like a weird dynamic with her family. And then her brother starts dating her best friend, so they become estranged, and then she doesn't know her place in the world, so she's got to figure it out. It's a very classic coming-of-age story, but it is beautiful. I love every moment of it, and like I said, Haley Steinfeld is my wife, so...
We should get her on the podcast, honestly.
If we get Haley Steinfeld on the podcast, I will not be able to speak. The man of many words will be speechless.
Listen, I'm only going to say this. I'm not going to say anything else. But if Haley Steinfeld is on this podcast, I better be on here as well.
No! That'll be my moment! You don't get to come on.
It's a mad game. It's crazy.
Listen, you know, my mom's big into manifesting, right? That's like her thing. So I want to manifest something real quick. 2 things are going to happen because of this podcast. Number 1, I'm going to get to meet Justin Fields. We are going to get to interview Justin Fields. He will be on this podcast, and we're not going to do it over the internet. We're going to be in Hallis Hall interviewing Justin Fields in Chicago. Me and Andrew. It's going to happen.
You know
and
it.
number 2,
You know it.
Number 2, we're going to do the same exact thing, but with Haley Steinfeld. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
Not over the internet. We're going to get to meet her in person. It's going to happen. I'm manifesting it. I got to get in shape for that to happen. I cannot meet Haley Steinfeld in my current state, but it'll happen. I am manifesting
Justin Fields will give you a workout routine.
That's what we'll do. I will figure out Justin's workout routine, and then when I'm jacked, we'll go meet Haley.
That's right.
Facts.
Perfect.
That's so genius.
Perfect. Yep.
And she'll be like, remember that episode you did with the yellow Hawaiian shirt kid?
She won't remember you, Daniel. Daniel, it'll be my moment. She will not remember you. It'll be my moment.
Listen, bro, I'd be a menace if I was 18, let me tell you.
Yeah, but you're 15, so you can shut up. She's like twice your age. She's not 30 yet. She's not 30 yet. She's like 10 years older than you.
Hey, age is a number.
I think she's 25. Shut up. I'm pretty sure Haley's 25.
So,
Right.
Haley, Zendaya,
25.
and Tom Holland are all 25?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Spider-Man, the love of Spider-Man's life, and the love of my life are all 25.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If I wasn't a dude, Tom Holland is number 1, bro.
All right.
He is number 1.
We have devolved. We have devolved. All right, Andrew, you got to give yours now. If you were a woman, who would be your number 1?
Respectfully, probably like I'm 17.
Yeah.
Or like I'm a.
Well, you can be legal. You can be legal in this hypothetical. Because technically, in the state of Maryland, you are legal.
Chris Evans, boom.
Chris
is hot and actually respectful AF. So.
Valid.
Straight up number 2 is you, David.
Okay. First of all, my brain thought you said Chris Hansen, and I was like, the irony in that is hilarious. But then I realized, no, you mean Captain America. Okay,
Yeah.
valid. I'm basic. Ryan Reynolds is mine.
Mhm.
I'm
He's
basic.
number one on my list right now. Okay,
What?
that doesn't count. He's number one on my list right now.
Oh,
Right now.
right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Daniel, thank you for
Yeah.
joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Christopher, for joining us for a brief moment. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. It used to be like 60% of the people that watch these aren't subscribed. I don't know if that's still true or not. I have no idea. I have not paid attention. I need to check up on that. But either way, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next week if I can close